That is easy and straightforward. Everybody's used to stuff like that. But let us show you how to log in using Face ID. So we'll click on Face ID here. Once it's done that, the face shows. And what it normally will do, if you take the face and use the face to recognize me and log me in. Now, there are many ways to handle this facial recognition. You can academics, and we'll go straight to assessments, and we'll go to computer-based tests, where there's a number of marks that are associated and the number of questions, and then the date that. So let's click on the test and see what it looks like. Here you see different features that can be set. Let me edit this to show how the various configurations you can have. Of course, you determine what program. In this case, let us do the demonstration of logging in using username and password. This is the candidate's login portal. Now, because we are going to use facial recognition, so I have put my face on both the administration and the student's demonstration. So here the student can see his profile. You can see the programs he's attached to. You can see his courses, you can see his assessments, his results, fees, and you can participate in virtual classes. So let's start with the assessment. This lists out all the assessments that are attached to this particular student. So let's take the first one. This is the test screen where the student sees what exactly this test is for, and he can start the test by simply clicking on start, where he's reminded that the test is about to start. He says yes. Now usually the permission is only asked, but once you click on remember, it doesn't ask you anymore, because it doesn't ask you that it wants to use your camera and your microphone. You click allow, it loads the facial recognition libraries. It insists on full screen because we had set full screen initially. Then we now have the face. We have the face monitor here, which basically helps to track the student's face and let him know that one, he's being monitored. Two, you can see if there's a complaint about his position of his face. You can tell exactly why that complaint is coming. After the libraries load, facial recognition will start. And while it's doing this, it tracks the face. Now it has gone on full screen. It loads the first question. Now while it's loading the question, your timer is not counting. So here you notice there are two timers. There's a timer for the test, there's a timer for this particular question. So it tells you how much time you have left for the particular question. If I move my face randomly, it complains. So here I can answer the question and request the next question. Now the timer has stopped. It loads the next question. Now, while this question is moving on, if I move my face too much to one side, it complains. It tells me to look straight at the screen. If I move my face too much to the other side, it does the same complaint. It tells me to look back at the screen. If I move my face away, it detects that there's no face and warns me, because we set 2 minutes for cancellation. It warns me every time that I have 2 minutes for cancellation. So I keep my face as straight on the screen as possible, so I do not have issues. If I do, then I can actually continue. Now, usually you have the timing for each question. Any question that expires, it automatically submits without an answer, and you move on to the next question. Once this exercise is completed, you can actually now get your evaluation. Now, so this is the test process basically. The number of complaints it gives is normally based on the restrictions that we put. So if it's very strict, you get a lot of complaints. If it's less loose, if it's more loose, then the candidate has room to move around. So by this, we can track his face, track his behavior. If for any reason there's a misbehavior that causes the test to be cancelled, his face, the last action he took before it was cancelled, will be scanned as the examiner. Question types that require us to review, we review and score. Now there are multiple question types, so let me explain that. So in this particular case, this is single answer OBJ, so this is automatically marked for you. This was what he selected, this was the answer. This was what he selected, this was the answer. So if, for instance, we wanted to let me demonstrate, for instance, the sort of questions that exist. So this is the test, these are the questions for the test. There are multiple types of questions. Now in this particular test we have 20 questions, but for each test there are different settings. For each question there are different settings. We could have